Hello everyone. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the CRNA school interview. Man, congratulations. I know the feeling. I remember the first time I was invited, I was over the moon. I was so excited. I was actually studying for the GRE at Starbucks and I got that email. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very excited. It was my very first interview. And at the time, I needed to fly to Philly. It was this past February, and I was just excited. I was thinking about, oh my God, I'm gonna potentially have to move there. Little did I know that this is very competitive, and there's hundreds of applicants, hundreds of people that will be invited before they pick you. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to maximize your chances of getting in. I know the work that you need to put in before you can even get an invitation, especially if you need to retake some courses, if you need to certify yourself in whatever specialty you work in, having to ask people to write letters for you, especially when you apply to multiple schools and you need to be bugging these people multiple times, and they kind of get sick of you. You need to spend money for the schools. It can be between $50 and $100 sometimes, so it's a lot of money just to be rejected. It's a good feeling, but I would not get excited just yet. This is not the time to go easy on yourself. So how do I know this? Because I was rejected 6 times before I got a yes. I had a total of 7 interviews, and I wish I could tell you that they were all the same, but they were not. However, there's some common questions and things that you can never go wrong if you know them. And those are, just know your patient population. Know the drugs that you handle on a daily basis. Just know why you do what you do and know why you give what you give. When I say drugs, I don't mean, you give Levofit for hypertension. You need to know the receptors. You need to know why you give neosynephrine over Levofit in certain situations. You need to know how propofol works in the brain, why you would use this over that, why you do a certain procedure over this one. You also need to know that although you may think that you work in a large ICU, I came to realize that it didn't really matter to me that I came from a small community ICU. My ICU was a 12-bed medical surgical ICU, and I feel like I applied to I'm gonna use a 9 because I'm waiting for 3 of them at this point, and I'm probably not gonna do it. If they invite me, I'm not gonna interview. But I want to say I interviewed to 7 out of 9, and for an ICU that's not that large, I feel like my chances were pretty good. So what do I mean by that? It doesn't really matter if you come from a small ICU as long as you make yourself stand out. And by that I mean you need to show whatever program you're applying to that you're willing to go out of your way and excel by getting certified, showing leadership, communicating well, and just make sure that whatever you do, you just look professional. So say that you go to the interview, just be ready to speak about yourself and say exactly what sets you apart for the average nurse that you work with. Tell them about your certifications, everything that I just mentioned, because if you don't, somebody else will. Everybody who's interviewing at this point probably has a couple certifications that you do too. So if you think you're special, you're probably not. So don't give them a reason not to pick you over the other person, because everybody who's going there, is your competition. All these people are really they're good applicants. Um, the other thing that I highly recommend is shadowing. I think I shadowed, I'm not counting the first time I shadowed the CRNA and the reason why I'm doing this, but I'm counting my shadowing as an ICU nurse. I think I shadowed twice, or I think it's twice. I shadowed twice, and I got to see the whole pre-op, intraoperative, and postoperative process. And I was asking questions, and I got to see the whole interview and the intubation. And I just wanted to make sure that if I was interviewed and they asked me, I could always think about that experience. And I'm glad I did, because I was able to relate some of the things that I spoke about to that shadowing experience that I had. I remember that I was able to talk about how the CRNA was ensuring airway patency, and how they were assessing airway size, and that's how they were able to determine the ET tube size and medication reconciliation, assessing for nausea, pain, all that stuff. And I feel like it was definitely a good. It's just a good. You can't go wrong doing that. And who knows? You may realize that that's not for me. So just know that you will be nervous. However, do not let the nerves take over you, because there was a time when I just went blank in the middle of my interview. And I know, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but there were other factors that caused that. But needless to say, I did not get in. So if you have gotten this far, it is your job not to give them a reason to disqualify you. I personally think that you should never ask the faculty at the end of the interview when you'll hear back from them. Just wait for them to tell you that, and if they don't, you'll say that I look forward to hearing from you, and thank them for their time. And maybe I would just thank them and then send a thank you note over email, and just mention something that you liked about the program, whatever you guys talked about, and then just I look forward to hearing from you soon, and then just leave your name, phone number, email, and just leave it at that. I just feel like if you ask them, when am I going to hear from you? Oh, when do I start? I feel like you come off as very cocky, overconfident, and I just haven't met anybody who has gotten a good response from that. So I personally wouldn't do it. So what am I trying to say here? You need to remain professional. This is not the time to be a jokester. You want to be a good communicator, because you also don't want to be like a robot, but you also don't want to be a clown. So you need to be well balanced when you're speaking to these people, because they're highly intelligent, and they just want somebody that will get along with the class, somebody that can work as a team with everybody else. So they want somebody who's a good team player, because that's another question that I feel like they kept asking me in previous interviews. How do you tell me about teamwork? Tell me about a time when you worked well with your coworkers. Tell me about a time when you thought critically and you ended up having a good outcome for a patient. Tell me about leadership. Tell me about a time when you had a coworker who was doing something wrong, and how do you deal with that? So just be ready to speak about that. And of course, you'll have those random questions, like if you had a favorite person. If you have a favorite person, who is it and why? So, that's very personal. I don't know who your favorite person is. So I wish I could tell you that all my interviews were the same. But if I can do something to be ready, is to definitely brush up on your pharmacology, and think about those times when you went above and beyond for your patients. Just be ready to speak about what sets you apart and your patient population. I would recommend reviewing your whole CCRN book, because I don't think they're gonna ask you about stuff that you don't see on a daily basis. Like it just doesn't. Don't waste your time. I just hope this video helps you out, and good luck with your interviews. Till next time.